Nassim
Thank you.
Taleb, erstwhile Bitcoin admirer, has now published a paper trashing the Great Orange Coin. So he wrote in a blog post this last week that in spite of the hype, Bitcoin failed to satisfy the notion of a currency without government, as it proved just to kind of be a giant bubble. He says it's not a good long-term or short-term store of value and does not constitute, not even remotely, a tail protection vehicle for catastrophic episodes. So this comes after Nassim Taleb has written the foreword for Safety Amos's book, The Bitcoin Standard, which of course is one of the big entry points for a lot of people moving to the Bitcoin space nowadays. It also comes after a few like praiseworthy blog posts on Bitcoin in the past, most recently I think in 2017. So he's done like a total and about face, and he has pissed off a lot of people, to put it bluntly, in the short term here. So interesting to see someone kind of with a bigger macro baggage around him kind of turn on Bitcoin right now, when we see, like you said, Nami, a second ago, Ray Dalio and other hedge fund titans kind of turning towards Bitcoin. So what do you guys take it as? Nami, I actually do want to get your thoughts on Nassim about face first.
Yeah. There's so much drama. I mean, it's another day in crypto. You have all of these figureheads just fighting each other on social media. So you had, when you look at the Bitcoin Standard, so he wrote the forward to that, right? And so we know that he was very bullish at one stage, and now he's turning around saying, well, actually, it's not even a currency. He has a lot of points that I would agree with, to be honest, when he's talking about this not being used as a currency and all of that. I think that when he's saying like this isn't any guarantee against economic episodes, of course it's not. There are no guarantees about these things, but are you going to bet on something that has potential upside or something that has a sure thing of downside the more money the government prints, right? So I think that's why people are betting on Bitcoin. And I do think he undervalues Bitcoin's use as this, long-term hedge, this store of value. People are using it. They're just using it with a long-term mindset. So I've always taken issue with people who say like, well, it's not even used. Well, actually it is. It's used to store people's savings. And we shouldn't discount that. That's a very important use case. So, I do agree with some of his things. Definitely don't think Bitcoin is great as a currency. Even the Lightning experiments going on in El Salvador, I'm chatting to some people on the ground there at the moment. Like, I love the excitement. I love that people are getting into this. All the solutions are custodial at the moment. So yes, we don't really have something that's outside of government control in terms of payments for Bitcoin right now. I do think that will change. We're not there right now, so I can understand why Nassim Taleb is kind of down on all of this. But yeah, I mean, I can see both sides, but ultimately, I love Bitcoin. So I disagree with his final takeaway there. But I'll throw it to you, Jen. I saw your hand go up.
Well, just coming off the back of what you said when I was reading the story, I also thought he made a lot of valid points. And I started thinking about CBDCs and the privacy discussion that we've been having on this show over time. And I think as more CBDCs launch, as we've seen in China, and people really start to understand the privacy concerns with things like CBDCs, we're going to see people focus their attention back onto Bitcoin. And so I think that he's right in a sense for right now, but I think we're going to see a shift in how the mainstream view it.
That's such a great point, Jen, about just like as the government, phases out cash, as they get more control, we have more of a need than ever for a decentralized money. But Ben, I saw your hand go up.
I mean, I think this is a kind of a conversation. We're talking about this big pivot within a 3-year period, sort of. And I think that's fine. I guess, I don't know. I know that, Bitcoin lends itself to like sweeping proclamations about it being the thing or not the thing. And I think that we see that quite often. And so I think people are going to come and go with it. Like people change their minds. That's totally fine. I still think when you're developing like an alternative monetary system, we're still in the very, very early days of this. I know we like to talk about, how tech moves really fast, and Bitcoin is certainly, on a trajectory that's moving quite quickly, but there's still a lot of things to be worked out. We're still building out all these functionalities, the privacy functionalities as well. Those are definitely still being out. So to me, this is just like, we can say all these things right now, but this is just a natural step in incremental progress for any sort of monetary system that you're trying to develop, particularly a decentralized one where there is no prime stakeholder, right? Who cannot like push things further more quickly. So I kind of take this larger proclamation, look at like the granular stuff and just say like, we're early, that's fine. Maybe he'll come back. Who knows?
Yeah, no, just to jump in there for last thought really quickly. It is interesting to a degree that like Bitcoin's culture just kind of kills all its heroes over time, and I think we see this very poignantly here. Like Nassim was such a like people were so big on him when he was pro Bitcoin. People were like, "Oh, we have Nassim, like we're golden, like he's the golden child of finance." And then he turns, and now we hate him. And I'm interested to see what the future of that looks like, because we're not getting less people interested in Bitcoin. We're getting more. We're getting more titans. Like Elon was very quickly killed in Bitcoin culture. And then I'm wondering, like, does Michael Saylor or other big proponents of the space now, like, what is their kind of hero arc within the Bitcoin story? So interesting to see that with Nassim.